Let's hop right in with our guy, Cam Inman, all over the Niner beat. And by the way, an esteemed author as well. How's the book going, Cam?
Good. Hey, thanks. Yeah, book's coming out officially in about a month, but you should be getting one in the mail here in the next week.
Well, I feel very special. Very special.
Yeah.
Mustangs stick together. And so thank you. There you go. Thank you very much for that. Cam Inman on the River Islands guest line with us here. Okay, so you saw Brandon Aiyuk at practice today. What was he doing and what was the vibe?
Yes, as a Cal Poly journalism, as we learn there, it's about learn by doing. And I've done enough training camps to let my eyes take me where they need to go. And I spotted Brandon Aiyuk watching the football practice for the first time in a while, but he did it on the sideline, and he usually hasn't been up close like that. But mind you, he was about 50 yards away when practice was kind of getting going in team drills, and then red zone drills happened, which is kind of near where Aiyuk was, and then you started seeing the interaction among teammates. Even John Lynch came by and shook his hand and patted him on the back. So for me, I'm trying to interpret, okay, what does this mean? Is this a hey, congratulations on your new deal, glad you're sticking around, or oh, hey, we're going to miss you, good luck, as you go along as a defector? No, it was more of a, hi, how are you? Good to see you again. Nothing else new here. So it's almost like it was the status quo, but at the same time, just watching Brandon and how he paid attention to practice, he was invested. He was paying attention to every single play and looked very much a part of this team. And it's just a matter of getting this contract resolved. Whereas a day ago were reports that, okay, they've agreed to a package to trade him to Pittsburgh, but here he shows up wearing a red shirt and black shorts. So,
Cam, I did a show a month ago with Dibs, and the same thing happened. Aiyuk was at practice, and John Lynch came over, and Kyle was and I was speculating, and it looked like, congrats, dude, we got the deal done. Right. So I'm kind of over this. Dude, either you want to be a Niner or you don't. It's that simple. Right. You want to win a Super Bowl or not. What are his teammates saying? What's George Kittle saying?
Yeah, I asked George about it after practice, and he said all the right things, how much they all love BA and just the energy and what he brings to the team. So, and all that. And these guys they've been through it. They've gotten their second contract. They've gotten paid, so they understand the business aspect of it, right? So they don't want to cross the boundaries and say whether what he's doing is wrong or right. I think everybody understands the situation. And the situation is it could play out longer. I mean, there's still 2 more preseason games to go. The season doesn't start for at least another 3.5 weeks, essentially. This can keep going on and on and on. I mean, the report yesterday that they've agreed to a trade, yeah, they may have, but they still didn't trade him, right? They were still talking to him about getting a contract done. This has been the same case that's been going on for months, and it doesn't seem like anybody is too anxious to resolve it, including Brandon himself, but he seems that he's happy to be on the 49ers. And, there's a couple things I think still at play here. Obviously, the market changes because wide receivers are getting all these contracts this season and this year, and the price has gone up. Well, CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase still need to get paid too, right? You're telling me the market's going to go down with them? No. Market's going to keep going up. Will the Niners meet that price? Probably not. But then again, maybe a wide receiver one goes down on another team. Injuries happen this time of year. So the Niners have no reason to rush him off the roster and trade him away somewhere else and get a mediocre deal in return. They have no obligation to get him a high contract on another team. Is somebody going to pay big for them? They did it in April, and so they kept him through the draft. So that's why I think we're still in a holding pattern, because there is really no pressing deadline at the moment.
Cam Inman with us. Cam, is it a fair thing to look at this situation right now and go, dude, if Brandon Aiyuk was going to the Steelers, it would have happened by now?
No, because it's just, that's why I said there a lot's still up in the air. I think the Niners believe, from my understanding, is that they actually offered him a better contract than what Pittsburgh offered him. But they still are kind of curious why he would want to go to Pittsburgh. Does he want to go to Pittsburgh, or was that merely a leverage play to get more money out of the Niners and push their hand? I think a lot of this is they're testing each other's sides to see what are the limits on how far somebody will go until a deal's made.
Is there a limit on how long this can go before he plays in week 1? I remember talking about Nick Bosa in this way recently. Well, if he waits, can he play against the Steelers in week 1?
Right. Well, I mean, Bosa's a different beast because he was the best player in the NFL on defense, was getting paid accordingly. With Brandon, I mean, he's their best split end. He's a back-to-back 1,000-yard receiver. It's such a great offense full of playmakers, but he's still very much needed. And would you have an immediate replacement in him with Ricky Pearsall, the first-round draft pick? No. He's had some trouble getting on the field with hamstring and shoulder injuries. He's not out there right now, so he's losing valuable reps. You have Debo, you have Kittle, you should have McCaffrey. Now, that's the other story is Christian McCaffrey's out with a calf, but not supposed to be serious. But again, he's the NFL's reigning rushing champion. So as long as like Brandon gets in, and I mean, from what I could tell 50 yards away from him today, he looks very much in shape and knows the offense well. I don't think it's a problem of him integrating into the offense. He knows the system. He can get right in and play. Same with Trent Williams. And Trent Williams is even, that's the bigger concern, but it's really not, because I think everybody just understands it's a matter of just like moving some money around, getting him in, making him fairly well compensated, if not the best compensation of all tackles, and onward we go.
Cam, let's play this out one step further, because you said it could still go on a while. Let's say it does. And we get to week one, the 49er offense for the opening drive hits the field, and it's a 2 wide receiver set. Deebo Samuel's on one side. Who's on the other?
Today it was Chris Conley, a 10th-year veteran who I wrote a story about yesterday, who plays split end and knows the offense really well. It could be Juwan Jennings, because remember, they extended Juwan, but he plays a different kind of position, different kind of football. He's your third and Juwan, moves the chains, contact courage guy. Is Pearsall ready for it? I don't think he's ready for it, but most rookies aren't in the NFL going in, playing wide receiver. You have a Trent Taylor who knows the system, but he's a slot receiver. So no, there's no great option. That's why you need Brandon Aiyuk coming back. But okay, if you want to play it out even further, all right, what is the ultimate where Brandon Aiyuk could push this? And to have a vested season in the NFL, you have to play at least 6 games, right? So say he just wants to hold out like for months, and then just try to push this so he can become an unrestricted free agent. First of all, the Niners wouldn't make him an unrestricted free agent. They would probably franchise tag him rather than let him go. But again, it's the weird contractual world, and just caution that, look, there's still a few weeks before the season gets going.
Cam, I've got a few Trent Williams questions too. Can I start with this? You referenced earlier asking George Kittle about the Aiyuk situation, and he said all the right things. But we've got comments here that we're going to play for everybody in a little bit from both Kittle and Mooney Ward that very much sound like they hem and haw about missing Aiyuk, but like, well, is he replaceable? They sort of, well, gosh, we don't know yet because we haven't had a real game yet. But then they're asked about Trent, and they're like, that's different. That's it. So different. Yes, it is different. But what did you observe with those comments from those players? Well,
I mean, it is a different situation because I think Brandon's like they painted this picture that maybe he could leave, and he plays a position where there's multiple wide receivers that all play different receiver positions. There's only one left tackle who's a 3-time reigning All-Pro left tackle, and that's Trent Williams. So everybody understands the value and worth of Trent, and they also know that the guy's been in the league 15, 16 years. He knows what he needs to do. He does not need to be at training camp. He usually comes in very good shape and is extremely athletic and is the best bully to play left tackle in the NFL right now, and somebody that is needed to protect Brock Purdy so he can throw those passes to a Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle, or Deebo Samuel.
So, all right, let's extend that. What is going on? What is the Trent Williams situation? And when are we supposed to be concerned about it?
Yeah, I would just be concerned in week one. Right now, I'm not concerned because they're not even midway through the preseason. However, because he's a veteran and he signed his last contract coming off of unrestricted free agency because he tested the waters, that makes him open to these CBA rules where, yes, he gets fined $50,000 a day for missing camp and practice. But when he misses a preseason game, he misses 1 week's worth of regular season paycheck. And that's $1.1 million. And that happened last week. And because of the veteran contract that he signed, he's not the 49ers cannot cancel out those fines or make them any less. It's written into the rules. So whatever contract he eventually signs, it's going to have salary cap ramifications to probably cover the losses. he's incurring right now.
Wow. So how is that like? Okay, what you just said, this means that makes a lot less sense. Why is he doing this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, just show up in Nashville so that you get your $1 million covered, then you can go back on hiatus. Yeah, it's weird, but you know what? Trent has handled it. He's been in the league so long, and he's gone through a few contracts. Obviously, he's not poor. The guy has his own private plane, and he does very well for himself. He just doesn't want to be in. And I don't sense any panic among the staff or teammates that he's not in. Would they like him in? Yeah, because Trent's a really good, gregarious guy, a great football player. Is he needed in mid-August? No. Would it be a lot helpful for Brock Purdy in the offense so they could kind of get in sync? Yes. But again, he's got to do what he's got to do. And go back 3 years when he was testing the waters and wanted to get a new contract, and the Niners gave him it, right? He was considering going to the Chiefs, and then they offered up a little bit more. And you know how much more they offered? He made sure he got $10,000 a year more than David Bakhtiari to be the highest paid left tackle. That's how hyper aware he was of the tackle market, that he wanted to be number one. And he has since slipped down to, I think, number 6 among offensive tackles among annual salary. And that if you just won 3 straight All-Pro awards and you go to the Pro Bowl every year, and you keep going to the playoff on these deep runs with your left tackle, you know what you're worth, and you're going to want top of the market rate again. So, I mean, that's the hidden negotiation that we're not into yet, but I don't sense that the 49ers are going to play hardball with him, that they're going to say, yep, all right, we'll take care of you. Here's your guarantee, because he has no guaranteed money left on that deal, and that's got to get amended. And from everything I hear, it will be. And I would have been a lot more concerned 2 months ago when they had the mandatory minicamp. But he did show up at it, and he showed up and was happy. So he was not retiring. He looked like he was ready to play some football. And I think that's all it is a contractual situation.
So that's why he's not playing and negotiating at the same time, because of the guaranteed money. Like why can't he be playing right now and still negotiating a new contract?
Guaranteed money and the rate. Well, probably because he doesn't want to have to get through any nicks in training camp, and he knows how to get his body ready at this time of his career. The guy's, how old is Trent? He's probably about 33 years old, 34, maybe 35. And he said he wants to play till he's 40. So he knows, would 1 month of training camp help his body, or would that actually cut down on the lifespan of that body? So I don't know.
Cam Inman, Bay Area News Group, all over the 49ers. Before you go, Cam, Jets, Monday night, are Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams both wearing red?
Yes, I believe they are.
Yeah.
And I think there will be a lot of other guys wearing red also. And Aaron Rodgers will be looking out for Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
And Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd, by the way, the one that sacked Aaron Rodgers last year and tore his Achilles. So the Niners have him now on their side to remind him of that.
Great.
Although, you know what? Wait, you know what? And on that note, the Jets can say, well, we have Hassan Reddick, and he's the one that ripped apart Brock Purdy's elbow. But Reddick's not in camp.
They don't. Yeah, they don't.
Holding out.
They don't have Hassan Reddick, which, by the way, is an even weirder situation than Brandon Aiyuk.
I mean, that's the thing. People got to understand this. There's a lot of talk about Aiyuk, but there's issues everywhere. Dallas got CeeDee Lamb issues. Cincy's got their issues with Jamar Chase. The Patriots have Matthew Judon they got to figure out. And then the Hassan Reddick thing in the Jets. It's that time of year of training camp where the contract situations, people start going, well, what's going on? What's going on? They will get resolved one way or the other in the next 3 weeks, and there will be real football September 9th with the 49ers.
There it is. Cam, thank you so much, my friend. Great to hear your voice.
Likewise. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Yep, you too. Cam Inman all over the 49ers.